Today I'm checking out a Reverend Slingshot. Now this guitar is a made in USA Reverend guitar that they no longer make, back from 2005, but it's an interesting guitar. And not only is Reverend Guitars an interesting looking guitar company, they have a lot of exotic looking, somewhat familiar yet vintage yet modern look to them. The original guitars like these made in the USA factories were much different than the ones that they're making in the Mir factories in Korea now. Now when I say much different, I know you're thinking, well, yeah, better quality. But that's not the case. They're just specified much differently. First of all, these guitars are basically plastic. Now the new ones, the ones they make in Korea, are made of more traditional woods. This guitar is a phenolic resin based guitar, so it's phenolic panels, and it's really acoustically loud for a guitar that's essentially made of plastic. Now this one comes in a safety orange, which was a unique color at the time. And although almost all the ones that they made in the USA look the same, they had a lot of different specifications and names, and most of that was driven around the pickup selection. This one I think is super unique with three single P90s, or single P90s? Three P90 pickups, but they had a humbucker single, three single coil, two Filtertrons, two humbuckers, and they had hardtails like this and Bigsby style bridges. So this is the hardtail. It strings right through the body, through these furls. Really cool. Another crazy, unique feature of these guitars, besides the fact that they're plastic, was they have this metal, like banjo rim, which gives it a 50s chromed car look, and it's actually pretty comfortable on your arm. At first, I wasn't sure about it, but actually, believe it or not, it felt pretty good, and it's nice, kind of like, just kind of plant your arm there. It's something different, like a guardrail for your arm. Very cool. Another unique feature. Another unique feature is this neck, how it's bolted on. The part of the neck sticking out, almost like it was made that way on accident. So, but that's how they come. And so they do four individual screws into the neck, and then of course a maple neck, and then of course the edge of the neck sticking out of the side. And at first, again, another thing, I'm like, this is gonna feel weird. It's not super comfortable. What I call the handshake, this is not the most comfortable way to hold this guitar. You couldn't do this for more than a minute or so before the edge right here really cuts into the hand. So this isn't gonna be your best soloing guitar. Now keep in mind, the new Reverends made in the Mir factory in Korea have 6 screws to screw on the neck, a plate, and line up the neck on the side of the body correctly. I think it's a much better design, but I'm sure they had fun playing with different designs over the years. The maple neck is really nice. In fact, this is a quarter sawn maple neck. It's not riff sawn or flat sawn, it's quarter sawn with a rosewood fretboard. And the frets are medium, so if you're into jumbo frets, this doesn't have that, but these frets are treated really nice. Now keep in mind, this guitar is from 2005, so it's not new, and I think it was one owner before I bought it, so he took really good care of it, but we don't know if he had the nut cut or fretwork done or whatever. But whatever it is, the guitar itself plays fantastic now, and feels and looks great. Nut looks like it's graphite. It has Spurzel locking keys, and they are staggered. However, they put the 2 shortest tuning keys in the center. And what's interesting is what that does, it creates a downward slope on the D and the G string, and then it allows the B and the E strings to go through the string tree. Again, I kind of know very little about Reverend. I've kind of poked at them over the years and looked at them and checked out, here and there. And you guys have suggested these guitars so much to the channel that I thought, okay, we got to get a couple. So I bought this one first to give it a shot. This one I found on Reverb, and it was a really good deal in a perfect condition with the tuxedo case. And I thought, what a great way to kind of experience the USA one, and then that will give me reference as I play the made in Korea ones that are made by Mir. The neck carve is very familiar to the Fender-esque carve. It's a C shape. This is going to be like a 60s Fender C shape, and I'll give you specifications of the 1st fret and the 12th fret right here. But again, the neck carve itself is very familiar. It thins out right here around the 3rd to 1st fret. So definitely has, when I checked it, the 60s style cut. Now, the other thing that is nice is it has a 12-inch radius fretboard, but this one's not super flat. So it's sometimes when they flatten them out, they make them super flat, and this one isn't a 10-inch radius. Came in at 12. The radius gauge saying 12, so we're gonna go with 12, but it feels a little rounder, a little bit more comfortable than a flatter 12. Hardtail bridge, like I said, individual saddles. And then of course, some other unique features is these features. It's a volume tone and then this bass control. Now the bass contour control is used on most of the Reverend guitars, but what's interesting is this doesn't work like your typical tone control. When you roll it back, you lose all the highs and it kind of gets very muffled. This actually works the opposite, kind of like the 1/2 of the TBX circuit that Fender uses, where you roll it back and you get brighter tones. So this lets you experience the full power of the pickups and then kind of thin them down a little bit. I'm going to be demonstrating that both ways, and it's really cool. And I'm going to show you this. Go through the pickups. I'm running through a Friedman Dirty Shirley into a 112 Vintage 30 cabinet. And I have a Keeley Caverns delay on there. And I'm just using the reverb off that, I should say. It's a Caverns delay reverb. And what I want to show you is right now the bass is engaged. In other words, it's forward is engaged, and man, do these P90 sound huge from that. Same riff, let's turn it off. Really feel it on those single notes. And I love this control. In fact, we're gonna take the pick guard off and look inside. Here is the pickups. Here you go, your bridge. And they all are labeled bridge, interesting enough. Look at that, bridge, bridge, bridge 0506. So they use the same model pickup for all three positions. I wonder if that was a conscious decision. And then over here we have what looks like a treble bleed, as you can see right there. And then we have the 5-way switch, which they're using a circuit board switch, not my favorite. I like the more robust switches, but this is still fine. Here's your tone control. Again, very inexpensive capacitor. Nothing wrong with that again, just does the job. And then last we have the bass contour control, which as you can tell from the capacitor that looks just like the treble bleed, it's basically a high pass filter. Very cool way they wired it up. Works kind of like I said, like the 1/2 of the TBX circuit, but it's a really cool idea and I like it. Besides the fact having 3 P90s really feels like we're all missing out on something after playing this. I really feel like I need a 3 P90s guitar in my life. The setup is exactly like Strat. So we have the P90 versus the bridge. Then in the second position, we have the 2 P90s, and then they are noise canceling at that point. And you get really kind of cool thing. I'm gonna actually take the bass control off. Let's put it back in. Wow. Hear it off again. Okay, middle position. I'm going to show you how the tone control works, obviously. So you can tell that basically that bass control is much different than the tone control. Okay, then we have the fourth position, which is going to be the middle and the neck. I should say middle and the neck. And again, turn that back. You're going to get more of a single coil stratitone. You can see it takes all that stratty vibe out of the P90s and puts them back into being full kind of P90s again. Okay, and of course the neck position, which is going to sound the fullest. Versus So now what I want to do is take you through the clean settings. I have my 65 Deluxe. Here's your bridge pickup. Okay, let's take it out. I mean, it's a night and day difference. Let's go to the neck pickup, same thing. Take that control out. Okay, let's go to that middle, or the fourth position here. Some final thoughts on the guitar. Well, obviously, I really like it. I want to thank all of you who suggested it, especially the patrons, of trying one out. I really wanted to try, when I came across this, the American-made ones, I had heard that they're very similar but different. So it will be interesting to see what I think of the new ones and how they're done. I'll be purchasing a new one and doing that as a video as well. I know the new made in Korea ones also have some kind of bass contour knob, and I think it's the same knob, but we'll check when we get that one. Another interesting thing about this is I heard that they've made about 5,000 American Reverend guitars, which is not a lot of guitars. I mean, it's an impressive thing when a small builder can do that, but it's not a large number in the grand scheme of guitars. So what's cool is this is a very unique piece. If you have any questions about this guitar, put them down in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, obviously give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. As always, I want to thank you so much for your time. Till the next time, know your gear. In today's video, I'd like to thank Rodrigo for supporting the channel and all the ways you do. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.